Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. Michael got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle at the 15, to the 20, breaks free to the 25, to the 30, to the outside, 40, midfield, 40, 30 to the coast, 20, 15, Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Toward Bryant. He will glove it toward Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up? What up? What up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this Hump Day edition. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. And if you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, man. Go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple, but wait. There's more. Go to the show's page. Go to Shawn and Maya in the morning. Like that page as well. So not only are you following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll also be following Shawn and Maya in the morning as well. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real. All right, listen, go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's the bell. That's the little bell. The picture is a little bell right next to it, little like that. And that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. You get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you're watching this on our mobile app, please don't tell me you didn't know we had a mobile app. Come on now, peoples. Come on now. Listen, we have our own mobile app. So wherever you get your apps from, and it doesn't matter where you get your apps from. Just go there, whether it's iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, 7-Eleven, Zayre, Zemsky, Macy, Montgomery Ward, Venture, Weebles, Woolworth. It doesn't matter. Goldblatt's. It doesn't matter where you get your apps from, all right? You go there, you type in Sports Zone Chicago, you download it. You take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, and not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew, and I mean a slew of articles, thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Oh, sorry. Now, if you're watching this on a Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. Come on, man. Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. And if you don't know, now you know. You know. Listen, if you have a Roku television in the house, do us a favor. Do us a solid, would you? All right, download Sports Zone Chicago's channel right to your television. Okay, put it right there next to Netflix, Hulu, Prime, Disney Plus, HBO Max, Showtime, Stars, and the season finale of BMF was pretty good. Pretty good. For those of you who watch it, yeah, it was good. All right, so just take it, just download it. Just download it, put it there, watch us on the big screen. Hell, we're on the big screen, right, Mickey, Ficky, now. Okay, we're on there right now. All right. Oh my goodness, that is hilarious. Now you can also tweet the show. Tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, want to know what I did? Well, let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy, one handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. If you want to follow my other co-host, Maya Akai, you can follow her on Facebook and Twitter at the Sports Chica. If you want to follow her on Instagram because you're an IG and you do it just for the gram, well, just follow her at Maya_Akai. It's MAYA_AKAI. Man, we have a phenomenal show, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching us on, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen, incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. And that's you, baby. So keep them coming. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. You know how The Rock said, baby, don't sing it, just bring it. Let's see who we got in the chat already. Cornelius Squall's in the house. What up, Papa? How are you? All my sports owners in the joint. That's what I'm talking about. My man Armando Emeterio Lara Jr. My man Junior's in the house. My own personal protector from back in the day. That's what I'm talking about. Levette Lee, she's in the house. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in, hon. I appreciate it. Mr. Shode, he's on a down low. Maybe he's on a sneaky tip. He's a sneaky link. I'm at work, so shh. I'm listening. I can't respond. I love it. Mr. Shorty, good morning, Papa. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Man, bear down. Plank in the house. Plank, what's up, Papa? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Michelle Walls in the Mickey Ficky house. Happy hump day, Greg. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And the rest of the sports owners in the house. Oh, snap. King Booker World's up in his mother, Hubbard. Good morning, King Booker World. How you doing, Papa? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Man, listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. That, my peoples, I can guarantee. Man, we got a great show and it gets started early, man, about 18 minutes or 17 plus minutes. My man Ozzie Guillen Jr. is going to join us today. We're going to talk a little baseball. The White Sox are on fire. 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 So what did they win? 4 or 5? They won 5 of 7. 5 of the last 7. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. My White Sox, we're getting it done. That's why I'm wearing my White Sox hat. I'm representing. I'm representing my White Sox, baby. Oh, boy. Yeah, so we're doing good. Cubs are struggling a little bit, but they'll right the ship. Not too much. Man, we got a lot to talk about. We got baseball to talk about. We got both teams, Cubs, Sox. Chicago Sky. Yes. Excuse me while I kiss the sky. Yeah. The Sky opened their season today. We're going to talk about that. We'll talk about Caitlin Clark. Talk about the Bears, baby. The Bears had rookie minicamp over the weekend, and some familiar faces stopped by. Check out the new toys that the organization has. DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Velus Jones. All right, Tyler Scott. See who's gonna be throwing me the ball, huh? Who's the new guy that's gonna be throwing it to me, huh? Let's see this guy. They're gonna make me go to a game and go against my boy Kyler Reinsdorf. Listen, you know what's so funny is so I have 30 first cousins. Okay, 30. Many of them are Cub fans, okay? I don't hold it against them. They were unfortunate. They're the ones that ate the lead paint chips, but that's neither here nor there. So we were talking, we a couple weeks ago, we had one of my cousin's birthday party, and then the following week is his brother, my other cousin's baptism for his son. And we were at the birthday party. A lot of the cousins were there. It was really cool that he invited a lot of the cousins that he doesn't really invite just because of the age difference, So we're sitting there and they're like, yeah, we should get together, and it's like, first of all, it was a good thing to get together for a birthday, not for a funeral, okay, or a wake again, right? But they said, let's do something this summer. We'll go, let's go to, like, hell, you know what? Because most of us are on the South Side, we'll even go to a Sox game. I was like, all right, does anyone know a guy with tickets? I'm like, yeah, I got a guy. You know me. If you know me, I got a guy. And I was like, do you want to go get tickets? Do you want to get a suite? You know what I mean? Like, and they're like, oh, let's get a suite. I said, okay. I said, just so you know, it's going to be about $150 a person. Okay. Just $150, give or take, maybe $10 more, $10 less, but just $150 a person, just so you know. But it's food, drink, parking passes. I'm like, so it comes out to kind of around this cheaper if you get a suite per person. All right, because you get a couple drinks, and we're all going to be drinking alcohol. We're all going to want to eat, plus the cost of the ticket. It's going to come out to about that. So they're like, okay, cool. So it looks like we're getting something together so I will be at another Sox game, King Booker World, coming up in probably in July. I didn't go to the game 2 days ago because it got rained out. So they're gonna get my money back, and they're gonna set up another St. Rita night at Sox Park. So I'll be there again. Try not to go, man. Man, listen. Let's get back to sports. Well, it is sports, Sox game. I did have my flask filled up and ready. For those of you know what I'm talking about, oh shoot, it's in the car. I'll go get it on one of the breaks. Look at Junior. Yeah. Oh damn. Oh man, Junior, I have 78 first cousins. Well, my mom's one of 10 kids, and then I didn't know about my dad's side, but yeah. So I got 30 on my mom's side. That's crazy, Junior. That's nuts. We got that to talk, man. We have NBA draft preview. All right, Terrence Shannon met the media yesterday for the first time. All right, we're going to talk about that a little bit. So, man, we got a lot to talk about, baby. So, as our old Uncle Hawk Harrelson used to say, we'll sit back, relax, and strap it down because we're about to get it started. Cue up MC Hammer. So, Ozzie Guillen Jr. is going to join us at 9:30 at the bottom of the hour. We're going to talk with him. Well, apparently, Junior, the cable was out in their homes back in the day. They didn't have any cable. Anyway, guys, you know how we do. The first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it.
Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Whew. Man, that's some good tea. Whew. But it's still hot. I didn't get to cool it off a little bit. So it's still smoking. Say, which way do we go? The first top of the morning topic. No, here we go. The good guys. Good guys from the South Side. White Sox yesterday, they split their doubleheader with the Washington Nationals. Game 1, they fall to the Nats 6-3. Chris Flexen, he was on a bump. He got a no decision. 4 2/3, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, 5 punch outs. Eloy Jimenez was 1 for 3 with a homer, his 5th of the season, driving in his 12th run of the year. Tommy Pham was 2 for 4 with driving in his 9th RBI, and Shoemaker drove in his 4th RBI in Game 1. However, the good guys, they rebounded. It rebounded, baby. I like that kind of party. They rebounded in the second game. And that man right there, mama, there go that man again. There goes that man again, mama. The White Sox beat the Washington Nationals 4-0 yesterday in the second game of that doubleheader. Eric Fetty, man, he's on fire, baby. He's on fire. He's 4-0. Okay. He got the win. He's 4-0. He went 7 innings. See, and this is what's so important. Remember me talking to you about that on the mentality of pitchers? Like, I got to go 7. I would say 8, but let me go 7 minimum. 7 plus is ideal. All right, whether it's 7 1/3, 2/3, or 8. But let me get to 7 minimum. If you go in that mentality, okay, you keep your pitch count down. You attack the strike zone. Okay, you challenge batters. You get their eyes moving. They didn't bear them. They beat them. You get their eyes moving. You got to get their eyes moving, and that's the important thing when you're pitching, is to get their eyes moving. Okay. Eric Fetty, 4-0. Andrew Vaughn had a nice day. In the second game, he was 2 for 3 with 2, not 1, but 2. Count them. 2 home runs, his second and third homers of the season, driving in all 4 runs for the good guys, upping his tally to 13 RBIs on the season. It was a good game for Andrew Vaughn. He needed it. We as fans needed it. Needed to see him, and he needed that game. Hopefully, it breaks him out of a slump. Hopefully, it breaks him out of the funk that he's been in all season. He's a guy we need. He's the guy we need. And when everyone gets back, Yohan Moncada's back in Arizona. He's working out. He should be back shortly. Luis Robert, same thing. Luis Robert will probably be back before Yohan Moncada. But they're in Arizona working out, rehabbing. So hey, let's get it started, baby. Let's get it started. Cue up MC Hammer. Well, moving on to the next top of the morning topic. The Cubs. Yeah, baby, the Cubs. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I almost forgot. Excuse me. We got one more top of the morning topic involving the White Sox. The White Sox, they host a rubber match today of the series between the Nats and the good guys. First pitch is at 1:20. All right, you can catch that game on NBC Sports Chicago or listen to it on the flagship AM 1000. Patrick Corbin, is on a bump for the Nats. He's 1-3 with a 5.91 ERA. He's going up against the lefty fireballer, our guy Garrett Crochet, who's 3-4 with a 4.63 ERA. Now, the next top of the morning topic, the Cubs. The Cubs get shut out by the Braves yesterday, 7-0 in the ATL. Jameson Taillon. I like saying his name with a Spanish accent. It's Taillon. Jameson Taillon. He got the loss. His first of the season. He's 3-1 on the year. He went 4 innings, 7 hits, 7 runs. 2 of them, only 2 were earned. 3 walks, 2 punch outs. Patrick Wisdom was 1 for 4. He drove it in he had a double, his third of the year. And Cody, he didn't drive in any runs because they didn't score. Cody Bellinger, he was 1 for 4 as well. On the next top of the morning topic, the Cubs look to avoid the sweep tonight in Atlanta. First pitch is at 5:20 Central Time. You can catch that game on the Marquee Network or listen to it on their flagship station, 670 AM. Javier Assad is on the bump for the Cubs. He's 3-0 with a 1.7 ERA going up against Charlie Morton, who also is 3-0, and he's carrying a 3.14 ERA. Big game for the Cubs. You just don't want to. They never like to get swept. You lost a series, all right, but let's not get swept. And that's what the Cubs need to do, is avoid the sweep. Here's the resiliency. Who's the captain? Who's the leader of that team? Okay, you understand that you've lost a series. You've already lost the first 2 out of 3. Okay, but how much do you have in you? Because if you're Atlanta, okay, remember, and this is Hawk Harrelson was talking about this as well. Steve Stone as well. When you win 2 out of 3 games, good teams, they're more hyped to play that third game going for the sweep. How aggressive are you? How focused in are you? Atlanta's going for the sweep. Atlanta's going to be on the attack. They want to sweep the Cubs because they put themselves in that position. Now the Cubs, what are you going to do? Are you going to find it in yourself to play some good baseball to avoid the sweep? Salvage a game? Who's the leader? Who's the voice in that locker room? I don't really know. Cub fans, let me know, who do you think is the voice in that locker room? Okay, because this speaks volumes. You come back, especially you pull out a close game or you pull it out late. Okay, will speak volume for the character of this team. That they will not die. Like, okay, well, we lost the first 2, bump it, we'll lose it. We'll start another series next time. No. Every game matters. So again, my question is, who is the leader? Who are the leaders in that clubhouse? Who are the people who are saying, hey, we're not getting swept today? Who's going to get in someone's face? I don't know. I don't follow that team that closely. You know? So, Cub fans, let me know who you think the leaders are in that Chicago Cubs clubhouse. Who do you think is the person, or is it the manager? If it's just the manager, then there could be some issues. But who do you think? I think there needs to be one or two leaders in that clubhouse who say, hey, listen, you know, they need to speak up today or anytime that they're in a situation that they're about to get swept. You know, step up and say, hey, we screwed up enough. Let's get back on our winning ways. So, yeah, I don't know. Wow, Cornelius. Wow, I had only one first cousin. That's crazy. I had to grow up. I didn't know anything else. I didn't know anything else. Excuse me while I kiss the sky. Yes, baby. The Chicago Sky opened the regular season tonight in Dallas. You know what's really, really, really weird? They're playing 2 games in Dallas. Like, what the hell is that all about? You're playing on today and you're playing on Saturday, both at Dallas. But I digress. Sky tip off tonight at 7 o'clock Central Time. You can catch that game on the CW. I catch that game on the CW channel 26. I'm looking forward to it. All right. A lot of buzz is going on around the Chicago Sky, and rightfully so. And rightfully so. Listen, this is dope. This is dope. So Angel Reese, you know, Chi-Town Barbie. That's our girl. Okay. One of the biggest NIL earners last year in college. Well, guess what? That hasn't stopped. As if you thought it would. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. This is about someone who gets it. Okay. She's a spokesperson for Beats by Dre. For those of you who've been under a rock or just in a different generation, the older generation, Beats by Dre is headphones created by Dr. Dre, and they became real famous and people started wearing them. They became not the best beats and the best headphones, but they're good. But they became popular and famous. Well, she's a spokesperson for them. And what she did is she got her teammates each a set of Beats by Dre headphones. How cool is that? She also gave some to her coach. If you see in the picture on the right, Teaspoon_11, that's Teresa Witherspoon, their head coach. So she gave it to the whole team. I'm sure she gave it, you know what I mean? That's what I'm talking about. You know, you take care, you look out for people. That's just good karma. And I thought that was really cool on her part. Someone so young, just being so thoughtful and considerate. I just thought that was pretty damn cool. You know? Listen, here's what we're going to do. We got a couple more things to talk. We got NBA playoffs to mention. We got the team that plays on the lakefront to talk about. We're going to take a quick break because on the other side of the break, we're going to talk a little more baseball with my man Ozzie Guillen Jr. All right, we're going to talk with him. Are the White Sox back, baby? Are they back? Won 5 of the last 7. Yeah. Andrew Vaughn's on the tear for 1 game. I'm kidding. We're going to talk baseball with Ozzie Guillen Jr. on the other side, so don't go anywhere, folks. Just keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Megan, you're a tramp. Brian Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face. Ugly.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
Ortega, since getting called up, has not had a hit yet here with the White Sox. Puts down a bunt, and nobody home. The first hit this season for Rafael Ortega. Tommy Phammel's off with the pitch. This one is sent out to deep right center. And is out of here! A 3-run shot for Andrew Vaughn. Cue the fireworks. Looking for the punch out to get the win. The 0-2. That is put in play to left field. And it's caught! A dive by Benintendi, and the White Sox get the win.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. Those clips courtesy of NBC Sports Chicago. Those are the good guys. I can call them the good guys now because they're doing it, baby. I was embarrassed of them earlier this season. I was. Still not happy, but you know what? Rome wasn't built in a day. My next guest is a good friend of the program. Man, he's been rocking with us. Man, it's been like 6 years, 7 years, dude. It's been crazy, man. That's awesome. Man, you'll know who I'm talking about. You can find him on Twitter at OGianJR, Ogian Jr. Let's welcome back to Shawn and Maya, our guy, Ozzie Guillen Jr. Junior, what's up, Papa? How are you?
What's up, guys? How's it going? Good morning. Good to be here. Doing well. It's been 6 years. Wow. I told you last time, 6 years ago, how the rebuild was going to fail 6 years ago. So hopefully you do it a little different this time.
History apparently loves to repeat itself on the South Side.
You know what? When you're impatient and you think you're going to have a quick turnaround and you try to build something in a way that it usually takes time, you usually end up in failure. And again, there's things in the part of the game where they lacked on development, where moves might have been made differently, and things would have been a little bit different. But a lot has changed in the last 3 years. And the part that's really funny, Shawn, is that unfortunate to the White Sox and the White Sox fans when it comes to us and being able to give our opinion, they forget that Ozzie was one of the candidates that they interviewed for this position. So, and we know the other three guys that they interviewed really well. So we've talked it, break it down. I've heard it all. What happened in the interview, preparation for the interview, the post-interview call. So it's really sad where this team was at mentally 3 years ago and where they're at today. And that's sad for White Sox fans. That's sad at the state that the team is in. And it's probably the worst 2 years, I think, since my time, again, that I've been around seeing baseball for the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, yours and mine as well, man, because we were really looking forward to it. You and I had plenty of conversations. Like I was so fired up about the potential for these guys because of the talent. Like we literally had guys, the talent was off the charts with these guys. All they needed was development. All they needed was guidance. All they needed was coaching, was manage. You know what I mean? Or managing, you want to call it. But they just needed that. and for whatever reason, we know the reasons they didn't get it. And now most of those guys, some of those guys are jettisoned. Tim Anderson's gone. I wouldn't be surprised if Tim Anderson's gone. Jake Berger's gone, another dude who was really, really talented. Eloy has never lived up to his potential. My man Yo-Yo never lived up to his potential. Lou Bob shows flashes, but he always gets hurt. Although he didn't get hurt as much last year, it's just so frustrating to see all those guys, all that talent, and have it go to waste because it's difficult to amass all that talent on one roster.
I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Okay,
that talent won 90+ game for Tony La Russa. That talent went 81 and 81. Which means you're above 500. They're battling it out, and with the new set of rules that you basically half of the league gets into the playoffs. That talent did that. Are you going to have Hall of Famers in that group? No, but I think that you could have competed with that talent, especially the way the division is set up. And when I mean compete, you're fighting for the division, you're playing meaningful baseball, you're around the 500, you're going into every series saying we're 2-3 games away. That's how it was. It was like that. Under Tony's years, it was like that under Rick Renteria's last year. So this conversation about talent. So there's something interesting. The White Sox fans went and including their general manager, Rick Hahn, said, talked to me after the parade. They celebrated the championship before playing one game. And I blame the fans. I blame the media. I blame the hype that they gave this team, because you can have great teams and never win a championship. There's been a lot of great teams that have competed for multiple years. The Dodgers being one of them. Let's not forget, the Dodgers have a baby COVID ring. They don't have a real 162 ring. They have a little baby COVID ring. But they've competed for the last 25 years when you look at it. Okay. Yeah. And that's just wild. So the White Sox, the people are thinking championship or nothing. And you're like, you have to compete in order to get there. So I think the real disaster, and again, I don't want to beat up on the guy because of my relationship to people that used to manage this team, but Pedro Grifol is god awful. Okay. He's basically, Rick Hahn is fired because I think about how bad Pedro Grifol was. Okay. And Pedro Grifol was sold as the next great manager, where at the point when he started, I didn't like his style. I thought he was a little cocky when he came in, but I said, if this guy knows baseball enough, he's not going to mess up the X's and O's on the field. And then off the field, from what everybody said, it was like this guy that was like a genius and, he was a communicator and all that. And I've not seen any of that. I've seen somebody that's inconsistent. I've seen somebody that's full of shit in other matters. I don't know if I can swear here. And when I mean that, I can give examples on that. And you have a shirt that says coaching matters. And it matters because when you're at this level, there's development, and basically you can call it managers matter. He is currently right now, he has a record of 74 and 131, okay, in his career as a manager. They keep talking about where he used to coach like it was a successful organization. He was the bullpen coach when they won the World Series, okay? That is like the lowest totem pole of coaching. You're there, but you're not the main person. So this philosophy that he's, has come from an organization when they've won 100 games consistently. Pedro Grifol goes to bed every night as a loser, and he's used to it. He's lost 100 games multiple times in his career. And that's something that I don't think this organization, I think, looked past it, because here's the part. Here's the list of the guys that Pedro Grifol got picked over. And this is where I think that's a massive failure. You decided not to bring Tony La Russa back because of health. That could be debated, because Tony probably could have, he was not healthy in 181 games. They looked over Miguel Cairo because he was too, unfresh and was, allegedly for them kind of couldn't cut it. He kept the team at 500, which was what the previous manager had been doing in that season. So he didn't mess it up. Passed up on a World Series winning manager and the guy who's had the most success in the last 100 years of the Chicago White Sox, both financially and on the field, monetarily wise and wins wise. You passed up on Joe Espada. You passed up on Schilling, Mike Schilling, the guy who's now in San Diego. You passed up on Mike Scioscia. You passed up on Bochy. You passed up on.
You didn't even bring Bochy in for an interview.
You didn't. I'm saying you passed up on everybody that was sitting at home, okay, for Pedro Grifol. Okay, and that's where nobody is bringing that up, because Now the sentiment is, oh, he was given a bad team. Mind you, I'm a firm believer that when they said that they were going to compete this year, that they had in their mind that this kind of misfit toys were going to be put together, and Pedro's genius and the prospects that they had, they were going to come out and they were going to compete for the division, at least be 500 and dabble in the division. They didn't think they were going to be 13-30. I firmly believe that, because they went and made some little moves. They signed Fede. They went and got guys. They basically built and said, let's put a conservative budget team together that can compete. And that has not been the case. And I'm going to double down on that. I think Pedro Grifol has cost them at least 8 games at a minimum. That's just from managing the standpoint. I'm not talking about the other part of the nonsense that we can see that's going on. So maybe this team is not above 10 games above 500, but they're not a 13-30 team. And that's, I think, when we're seeing today flashes of them getting better. Here's the part where Grifol concerns me, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I compare previous seasons to seasons now in rankings. And you can do that in football. You can do that in any sport. There's things you can't control wins and losses, but you can control parts of the game that you get better at. So the White Sox were defensively finished the season at 26 last year across all Major League Baseball. This year, they're still currently 26. They were 12th in the American League, 12th in the MLB, 13th in pitching, 13th in pitching today. The only thing that has gotten a little bit better by 1 point in the American League rankings is defense. So you went from being the 15th worst team in the American League defensively to now you're the 14th team in the American League. So I guess that is, an improvement.
Steps.
Well, I'm just saying though, like when you look at when you're saying, and those are things that I think when you're competing in games, I'm looking at, are the guys doing the little things to give themselves success? Meaning, are they, throwing the ball to the cutoff man? Are they running and doing running situations the right way? Like losing with, I like saying with pride, but the right way. You might get beat in the ninth inning because your closer gave up the game. You might lose because you have a little, there's a lack of talent. There's a missing position. There's an injury here and there. But that's been the case. And then if we're going to double down, man, my concern yesterday, and you had not texted me yet about being on the show. And I was like, oh, this is not going to be good because I'm going to go off. I think now he's becoming, it's a concern because there's been bad managers that have won World Series. That's not, you could be a bad X's and O manager and succeed. Tommy Lasorda, for example, the great motivator. He wasn't a genius in X's and O's like other managers, but got himself championships, got the guys to be obsessed with him and win. There's different ways to skin a cat, per se. But yesterday's comments that he made about Brian Ramos, okay, and saying that Brian Ramos had missed a sign and that the hit and run was too close, was probably one of the most BS moves I've seen him do and a manager do in a long time. Because that's not dogging it, okay? He just got here, meaning he's probably only had these signs 2 weeks, maybe.
Very easy to forget. Yeah.
And that's not the moment to tell him, yeah, he missed a sign. Like now we all know he missed a sign.
Yeah, that could have been done in-house.
Juan Uribe had a sign for himself because he was so bad with signs. Guys miss signs all the time. I know other guys in this teams that miss signs because I can tell of a batter's approach when a guy's not running. Martin Maldonado looks like he's never caught before, yet this guy praises him all the time. So now you're now you're the guy's going to be, oh, you're going to rip on young, the future, and you're going to ride them hard, but you're not going to do the same for the veterans. That's fine. Outside perspective, because you're like, oh, that doesn't make the players don't care. Oh, trust me, the players care. That's like if you're a parent in a house and you treat one child better than the other child. Parents, in the game of baseball, analytics has changed so much, and it's great. I love analytics, but these guys are still human beings, and you're gonna piss them off. It's like when you go to work and you think one of your coworkers is getting treated better than you. And that's when you lose a clubhouse. That's when guys are going in there and saying, man, F this guy. And I've lived it. I've seen it being in a clubhouse my whole life. I've seen my own father do it as a player, completely dismiss a coach, which again, it's not something great to do, but it's just something personally. So I think that's a number one concern. I think they're starting to build what they potentially are going to bring in the future. But at this point, I think they're in a crossroads of where does this team go in the next 2 years, 2 to 3 years, and make themselves relevant again to the point where we're not talking about relegation. If they were in European soccer, the White Sox would be playing in Division II next year.
Well, you know what? Now you're starting to see exactly why he was passed over. All right, he had multiple chances to be bumped up to be named the manager of in Kansas City, and he got passed over a couple of times. And now we're starting to see why. When it all started, I had the conversation. I was like, man, when I text about your dad, I'm like, dude, this is the perfect guy. Your dad was the perfect guy. And the thing is, they just don't want a person they want someone that they can control. All right. And that's the issue, someone who's happy to be a manager and take orders from the GM. And that's the thing that bugged me, because we know your dad wouldn't do it. We know Bush Bochy wouldn't do it, which is why they didn't even bring him in for an interview. Okay. They didn't want any strong-willed managers. And that's exactly when you got a team like that. I think when you got a team full of veterans, you don't give them struggling veterans. You don't give them a rookie manager. You don't give TA and Lou Bob and Yo-Yo and all those guys. You don't give them a guy who's never managed before, in my opinion. So,
well, TA became who TA was going to be, and analytics can tell you that. Okay. And that came out, and the White Sox, probably one of the best moves they did was never extending him because everyone wanted to give him $100 million. He's struggling right now in Miami. Same thing with Berger. Again, why do you think they're struggling? They got two guys that used to be on this team last year. That's a big part of why they're struggling. So here's the part though. And I'm going to talk about the interview process because I haven't shared much about it here on this show. I was shocked, okay, when Ozzie was considered to interview, because there was a moment when there was a plan very slightly when Tony got hired. Obviously, they didn't go with it. Jim Leland and Tony thought that Ozzie could be the third base coach, okay? That would be really awkward for Ozzie because you're going to the team where you won a World Series. But for Tony La Russa, again, I don't care what people think about outside of Tony La Russa. In the Guillen world, in Ozzie's world, Tony La Russa played a huge part of his career as a player and then as a manager. Why? When Ozzie was becoming a protege to become a future manager, a lot of veteran guys helped him, including Tony. When they're going to vouch for you, a lot of the veteran guys from Cox, Torrey, a lot of veteran guys said the kid's ready. So Ozzie said, for Tony La Russa, I will coach third base or coach bench, wherever he needs me. I got shut down. Again, it wasn't a big deal.
I can see why he gets shut down. I easily can see that.
Well, it would be two guys with a lot of power. It'd be Ozzie and then the second guy with the most power when they were there. They were making no decisions in that front office because the front office messed up firing Ricky, and they thought they were going to bring Ricky back, bring whoever they wanted managing, and Jerry had a different plan for them, I think. And they got Tony. And Tony, if people think Ozzie was the boss, no, Tony La Russa is the boss. Like, he says what goes, and he's earned that right. And for better or for worse, it's very hard to work with guys at that level. And it worked out. They went to the playoffs. They won 81-81. So it wasn't that horrible of a situation compared to what we have now. But Ozzie gets interviewed. Kenny reached out to Ozzie and said, they want to interview you. I think he wasn't put in the position of you're going to be the manager from Jerry and Kenny because they were going to force it on Rick. I think Ozzie had to convince Rick and Chris Getz, which was funny because in the interview, it was Chris Getz who Ozzie gave the job, this big league job to, whoever the GM, assistant GM, Haber or whatever. Daniel Sine, who was Ozzie's video coordinator when he started in baseball. So basically Ozzie's errand boy. And so these guys are all talking base. And then Rick Hahn, the guy that used to be Kenny's note taker and money guy when Ozzie was the boss. So imagine you walking into a meeting where you used to be running decisions with Kenny, and then the guy that was there the whole time, and Kenny would just turn and be like, you make sure you got that down. So it was a very awkward interview. I'm like, really? I'm going to interview with you guys? Like, I'll be talking to Kenny and be talking to the decision maker. So, but he did, and he said, I'm not going to give you guys the info. And it was very awkward because we knew the other people that were interviewing, Espada, Mendoza, and they thought that their interviews went awkward. They were like, it was weird. They asked questions, which is great. But when Rick called Ozzy on the car, when we already knew that it wasn't going to be Ozzy, we knew who the manager was. Rick didn't probably know that. We knew who the manager was already selected. We knew it was Pedro Gaffon. We're like, wait, what? Who? Okay. He said, this is the greatest, the next great manager. We will win a World Series with this guy, was basically what he said. We got the next Ozzy Guillen. Okay. And Ozzy said, okay, good for you guys. He hung up the phone. I let him sit there quietly for like 5 minutes because he was pissed. Not going to lie, he was.
I bet he was.
Because he got passed by Pedro Gaffon. Ozzy had just been passed up from the Padres job for Bob Melvin. And Ozzy was like, it's Bob Melvin. I lost to one of the great ones. If he would have lost to Socha or Espada, who was the best
much easier to accept.
He would have been like, wow, I get it. But he was like, really, this guy? But we didn't know much about him, just rumors and rumblings about how he had gone places. And I turned to Ozzy and I said, either the White Sox made the best hire, meaning Rick and Kenny, or they just got themselves fired. Because this team needs to win. When you got hired in 2004, there was a transitional year where fans were happy, but no one expected to win. And this team needs to win. Like they were 500. So Pedro just needed to take the team to 500. If you would have won 3 more games, hey man, I got 3 more games. And you build on that improvement. He went and lost 100 plus games of a disastrous of a season with basically the same roster. Okay. And then you start off this year and then they get fired. And then he makes the comments, I didn't like this team, and I'm like, wait a minute, what do you mean you didn't like this team? You just been telling us how much you love this team. Now you're throwing Rick Hahn, who hired you, on the bus. I'm like, oh, you're the guy in the mafia family pulling the trigger. You're that guy. Like, oh, you're a dangerous dude. You're changing sides very quickly, which is great. You're a survivor. But now I'm catching on to things that he's saying. He said one the other day, I'm not a pitch count guy. What are you talking about? You just took out a guy 3 days ago because you said that his pitch count was too high. Now you're not a pitch count guy? Like, bro, which one are you? So I created the term Pedrolytics because he's not old school. He's not new school. Like, he's just literally making stuff every time in the interview process, he basically makes stuff up. Like, who are you talking to, man? Like, we're here. So I literally feel like he goes and watches movies post games. And I guess he named the author that he reads. And his quotes, he literally reads stuff out of quotes. He's saying stuff. We had a book club, stuff that I'm like, and then you find out like stuff's optional. Okay, you're there early in the game and you don't see the team practicing, but you see the other team practicing like on a day game, and you've only won 2 games, and you're like, damn, okay. So that part of the culture where they're trying to build these young players in, I'm worried that he is not the right person at this moment to do it. Again, let them finish the year out if they want. I don't care. But every move that they make hiring wise, okay, is key to the future of the White Sox, of where they're going to be for the next 2 to 3 years. Because I don't think that they need to necessarily win another World Series, but they need to bring somebody in that can help them build a team that can play baseball the right way, okay? And then when you have that core ready, you can go and probably make a couple big moves, couple key moves, and get enough where you're now really competing for that. That's a part where historically wise, people don't look at how much Jerry Manuel meant to the White Sox and to Ozzy when Ozzy took over his job. Jerry Manuel did a hell of a job preparing a core that when Ozzy moved away from certain players because their mentality was not 100% winning and brought in guys that worked out, that core was amazing. Okay, that core that Jerry Manuel built of Rowan, Creedy, they weren't superstars, but they knew they got it.
They knew their roles, and that's the thing is when you define your roles, when you define roles for a player, all right, now they know exactly what's expected of them. So they know, and a manager, you can't expect them to do more, nor will you accept them doing anything less. Like, I'm not going to, ask you to hit 30 homers if you're you're not a power hitter. I need you to slap the ball. I need you to bunt. I need you to steal. There's other things I need you to do. And if you once people get their roles defined for them, great people they flourish in them. But that's the thing. You have to define roles for your players. It's a job. It's baseball. You don't go ask your accountant, okay, to be your PR guy. You know what I mean? In a regular business, they have roles, and coach and people keep forgetting that they have to do that. So it's frustrating.
Hey, bro,
well, listen, last question.
Brian Ramos hitting fourth. Why?
The thing about that, when you said that, like, Brian Ramos is a young kid, great. I like his talent. Why would you, instead of, throw him under the bus, he missed a sign saying, hey, that was a hell of a throw he made. You saw him deep in a hole, with one hop and good stretch by Andrew Vaughn to catch. You could have said that in public and then told him in private, hey, you missed that sign, make sure you do that. Don't do that. Don't air your dirty laundry, because that's kind of
I'm the rookie. And
yes.
You made his major league debut as a defensive replacement. This is a funny thing. Every former White Sox player, the group chat that we're on, like, this is like the comical part. Everybody's texting like, oh my God, like, this is like, I can't believe that he just did this. It's like every day he does something in a random baseball. I was like, man, your guy over there is like, wow, he's a little quirky. And I'm like, quirky is an understatement because of things that he does. Of like, you hit Brian Ramos 7th for the rest of the year. And if he does great, you're a genius. If he does bad, he's developing. If you hit Brian Ramos 4th, you're going to catch heat. If you hit Gavin Sheets 2nd because you want him to see better pitches, like, dude, who do you think you're talking to? You're hitting 2nd. If you have Ronald Acuna maybe leading off, you're going to see better pitches. Let the dude hit 3rd or 4th and drive runs in and not worry about, do I have to move a guy over when he's on 2nd because I'm hitting 2nd? Gavin Sheets is a baseball dude. He's been in the game this whole life. If he's hitting 2nd and there's a runner on 2nd base, he is going to put himself in a situation where, okay, I'm going to try to get a hit and go deep, but I'm going to also try to move this runner over. So your whole hitting, so don't hit him 2nd. It just little things like that of like Ozzie being and saying, hey, Joe Creedy, great talent, but to hit 7th or 8th, 6th maybe. We got to move this guy here. That's the part where I think he lacks at. I think Ethan Katz might be in the hot seat if he doesn't start picking it up. But again, the pitching has been the most positive part, but it's going to be an interesting rest of the year, man.
It is, man. I'm going to a couple more games, and I'm looking forward to it. I know you got to run, Papa. I appreciate your favor, though. Let everyone know where they can find you on.
Man, they can find me at Gian's World. We have the Blackout Show, airs weekly, talking about the White Sox, talking about everything the White Sox. And we're just keeping it real, man. People are like, oh, they're hating on Grifol. I'm just calling out facts. I'm not, when he does well, here's the part that's funny before I go. And it's so cruel. He has a good game managing, and you're like, oh wow, great move. Oh, we stuck with the guy, and then the post game comes, and I'm like, don't do it, because he doesn't have the credibility to be able to have a post game like that, and that's something that people don't get. Joe Madden can get away with it of just talking about nonsense, basically not telling you something. That's the issue now, and it's going to be interesting because I think they're going to win more games. I do too. I think they're going to. Fetty's been a great signing. I think they're going to win.
What the hell's going on with him?
He figured it out, man, the Korean Cy Young. So I think we got to jump again another time to talk more. But I think this team under the right situations, I think will get quicker to 500 than people think.
I agree. Hey, Papa, I know you got to run, man. I appreciate it. And hey, sorry about. I wish I could have joined you the other day at your live podcast. Joe's.
Next time, we'll do many of those. Keep going to the stadium. Keep supporting. Love you guys. Talk to you guys soon.
All right, bro. Thank you. Guy, that's Ozzie Guillen Jr. He had a run. He has a 10 o'clock call, so I appreciate it. Great stuff with Ozzie, man. And, that's one of the reasons I love having him on is just because of his baseball mind. All right. He's been in a clubhouse since he was born, literally. I mean, you see pictures of him and Ozzie, when he was a kid, there's a lot to be said for experience, okay? And some people may not like Ozzie, and that's okay. Some people may think Ozzie's outdated, but I'll tell you what. You saw that. I don't know if it was Brian Ramos. You saw in the clip that we were coming out of break. There was a bunt. I mean, these small things that are happening to the White that are helping the White Sox win. These are I don't know if you're aware of it. These are called fundamentals. Crazy idea that fundamentals works in an age of analytics and numbers and stat nerds and stat geeks. Come on, you know. This is again why, and all my people, we're all the older guys. All right, all those older guys in the chat. All right, Cornelius, Shawn, Armando. Like, we wanted Ozzie for this job. We wanted Ozzie, but when Tony got the job, right? Why? We understood that Ozzie, first of all, Ozzie has gravitas. When he walks in and he speaks, you shut the hell up. This is a World Series winning, a two-time World Series winning coach. He was the third base coach for the Florida Marlins. When they won it in 2003. He won it. Did he win it with the Braves when I was the coach with the Braves? I'm not sure. He might be a 3-time. And then he obviously the manager of the White Sox. This guy's been in baseball. He left his country. He was here at 17 years old. I think even sooner, to develop. But he's been in the States since he was 18 years old. He's been here 40 plus years. And all he's done is play baseball. So you think this guy has an idea of what's going on, how to play the game? I would go out on a limb and say, yeah, he does. And I think he was the perfect guy for Yohan, for Eloy, for Lubab, for Tim Anderson. Tim Anderson, the analytics say he's going to be what he's going to be. Okay. Why are analytics that? Because when people think a certain way and you behave a certain way, we all have tendencies. We all have patterns. It's just all of us. Tim Anderson went the way he was because he didn't have anyone to guide him. We didn't have anyone to change his view, his mentality. A guy like Ozzie might have changed it. Tim could have been something better. But anyway, listen, let's take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we got a lot of talk. I want to talk a little Chicago Sky and definitely want to talk some Chicago Bears as the schedule is leaking out. People are getting fired up. I'm fired up. Today or tomorrow, I got to get my ticket to San Francisco so my guy Victor Calzada doesn't get mad at me. He's going to get pissed at me if I don't book my ticket to San Francisco to see the Bears and visit him and his family. So we're going to talk some Sky. We're going to talk a lot of Chicago Bears on the other side of the break. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Yeah, hello. I'm really not sure if this is what you all do, but I really don't have anywhere else to turn.
Hi. I don't even know why I'm calling right now. I'm sorry. My thoughts are going a mile a minute.
My kids are out of state. My buddies from the Army are all gone now. I'm really alone.
I left the service last year. My mom just passed away a few months ago. I miss so much time with her. I keep getting calls about the bills, and I'm trying to get a job, but I feel so stuck.
Okay, ma'am. I'm glad you called.
Okay, sir. Let's stay on the line and walk through some things.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators. A passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds. Help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Every day we take steps to keep the people we love safe, but some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health, Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
Mental health and learning disorders don't discriminate. 17 million children and adolescents in the United States live with disorders like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and dyslexia. Less than half get the help they need to thrive. Help the Child Mind Institute change these children's lives. Visit childmind.org.
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. That video courtesy of the Chicago Bears. That was QB1. All right. Caleb Williams is named quarterback. He's named the starting quarterback for the 2024 season. Some people had an issue with this. I don't have an issue with this at all. Why some people have an issue with it, I don't know. Okay. This is a guy you drafted number 1 overall. This is a guy who you gave a team, a loaded squad to run. You gave him an experienced play caller to learn under. Why would you not have him start the season as QB1? Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. He earned it. He deserved it. First overall pick. So let's go. Now, the one thing that I have the issue with is I just saw it during the break. And you sit there, and again, the hyperbole, the exaggeration. Look, I get it. I get it. You're excited, and you should be. Cool. It's a new era for Chicago Bears football. It seems like this organization is doing everything the way a competent organization sets up their quarterback, sets up their new quarterback. They've given their new quarterback the best situation, a number 1 overall pick, who's a quarterback has ever stepped into. And most importantly, they gave him an experienced play caller. The last 2 first-round quarterbacks did not have an experienced play caller. They did not name them the starter. So that means they did not get starter reps. They had no chemistry with the starters. And they're working with a guy who's trying to figure shit out by himself. Now, let me ask you a question. If your parent was going into the hospital for a heart transplant, would you want the guy who's an up-and-coming surgeon making his first open heart surgery? Asking for a friend. When you look at it like that, it's different. It makes a lot of sense. Would you want your parent who's going in for open heart surgery to be operated on by one of the top up-and-coming surgeons who's been in surgery rooms before, who's watched plenty open heart surgeries, but now is performing his first? Would you? I would not. I'll have him go experiment on someone else, experiment on someone else, gain his experience somewhere else, getting more. I want his first open heart surgery to be someone else. All right, and then a whole bunch after that. So when you do you're set up to fail. The Bears haven't done this with this guy. This regime has not done it. James Ford, good morning, Papa. Thank you for tuning in. I know Brouhaha had a dip. I just want to say what's up if he's back. If not, you can catch that in the replay. Just want to say what's up, Papa. Thank you. But they've set this up. But the thing that I'm having an issue with is they're like, look at how easily the ball comes out of his hand. I'm like, oh my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Please stop. He's a professional quarterback. All quarterbacks, when you're running on air, they're not even in helmets. They're just playing catch. And someone says, oh, the ball's on the anticipation. And I didn't even want to argue with it because I'm not going to argue with football with a woman for the most part. So there's a lady who's pretty popular on Twitter, and she's like, none of the receivers broke stride, the anticipation, this and this. And I was gonna go off, and this is why, like, and if you watch the video, Velus Jones has to slow down a little for his catch. The receiver has to jump up for the catch. That's not in stride. That's not in stride. Okay. And I hate to sound it, but like, stop making him out to be the next coming of Peyton Manning. He's not there yet. He very well could be. He very well could be. But he's not there yet. All right? He's not there yet. And just like Ozzie Jr. and I were talking before, like you're talking, you know, when Pedro Grifol was talking about, or Rick Hahn was talking about the parade when he got all those guys with Lou Bob, and it's got to play out. Let it play out. And for some reason, every time there's change, everyone gets all crazy. Again, I know somebody yesterday said, stop the hate. I'm not hating. I don't hate Caleb Williams. Stop it. I don't. I have no ill will toward the young man at all. I want him to do well because I want my Bears to do well. But don't get mad if I disagree with you because you're a fanboy and I don't see it the way you do. Don't get mad if I'm not oohing and eyeing overthrows in rookie minicamp. Don't get mad at me if I disagree with you or tell you to calm down because you say some dumb shit like the ball comes easily out of his hand. He's a fucking NFL quarterback. It should come easily out of his hand. It came easily out of Justin Fields' hand. It came easily out of Mitch Trubisky's hand. It comes easily out of Tyson Bage's hand. When you're in helmets, or not even helmets, just jerseys, just running routes. Stop. Relax. Be present. Don't exaggerate the present, but just be present. And say, hey, they look good. All right, throwing the ball look good, nice and smooth. Can't wait till camp. But Jesus Christ, like, oh man, again, when you're wrong, you're wrong. And then all of a sudden, people attack you. Oh, you're a hater. You're this. You're Justin this. You're Justin that. No, I'm not. Nothing to do with Justin. What I'm saying is, stop exaggerating. The kid has talent out the ass. Yohan Mokaba has talent out of the ass. Tim Anderson has talent out of the ass. Louis Robert has talent out of the ass. Eloy Jimenez has talent out of the ass, and they didn't perform. Let it play out. We anticipated these guys performing, or this Caleb performing because of the situation, and I hope he does well. So don't get mad at me. Care because I'm not. Okay, it's not about. None of them spin. So what do you mean spin it? I'm not. My thing is, what do you mean spin it? Okay. So what do you mean? And I'm not saying you act as if here. I don't know if you're taking it to heart or you're taking feeling that you think I don't like Caleb, and that's not the case. Yes, I wanted Justin Fields. I wanted him coached, is what I wanted. That's what I wanted. But he didn't get that. I wish this guy does well. Okay? I wish this guy well. All right? You can sit there and tell me and what you think I feel or what you think you know about me or my thoughts, and that's cool. You can speculate all you want. I'm just speaking from my experience in this game. I know what you mean. I know what you mean, but I'm asking, what do you mean? Because some people, listen, if you're talking, how about this? There's no need. I'm here for the Bears. I love the Bears. Yes, I have players that I like. And if people or you or anyone else has a problem with me liking Justin, well, that's too bad. But I'm not rooting. I'm rooting for the Bears, which means in default, I'm rooting for Caleb. It doesn't mean I can't point out his flaws. You act as if I've never pointed out Justin's flaws. You act as if I never did. And if you follow this show at all, you saw me point them out. I went on a rant last year, and Justin was part of it. So I'm not going to hold back my criticism on a guy that someone else likes more than I do. I talked about all these things. All I'm saying is, relax. Yes, get excited, but stop with the best quarterback wide receiver combo we've ever had. No, stop with that. But the potential there, yes. If you say we got the potential to be the best, yeah, we do. These two do. But it's not there. Just relax. I get it. We're all Bears fans. We all want the Bears to do well. And I do too. But the hyperbole, and maybe it's the coach in me, maybe it's the player in me. Don't get too excited over the hype. Put in the work. And that was him putting in the work, which I love. You know what? I love it so much. We're going to watch it again just because I'm freaking nuts. And I like it. I like it a lot. Again, that video courtesy of the Bears. I like it. I like what I see. They're not even in helmets. Just take it easy. And not just you, it's other people. Take it easy. I'm good. I like it. I like it. So the schedule's leaked out a little bit. All right. I knew this from before. It's good to have friends in high places. The Bears will be they're scheduled to play London on October. Scheduled to play London. They're scheduled to play in London against the Jaguars on October 13th. That's come out. But that was already known. The date was already known. How did you ask? Well, I'm glad you asked that question. Okay. Our guy Berlissimo, who tunes in often, is in England. Lives in London, right around London. Okay. Send me they got to have all this stuff done. Even though they're just announcing it today, they know the schedule, of course. And when a game like that overseas, they've got to let everybody know over there what's happening. So they have to get the proper signage up, the certain billboards and things of that nature, the marketing going. So I knew about a month ago that they were going to be playing on the 13th, October 13th. They didn't know who, but I just knew it was October 13th. I actually even sent a message to my friend who's a travel agent and said, "Hey, start talking to your people now. Put it on there. Say you gotta, on good authority that the game's going to be October 13th. So if you want to start advertising trips, just looking out for a good friend. But that's cool. All right, you got Trevor Lawrence going up against Caleb Williams. All right, the stacked offense is something that I'm looking forward to. Okay, something I'm looking forward to. It's going to be interesting, and that's week 6, I want to say. What the Bears are doing, what the Bears have done, and are in the process of doing as we speak, they are giving Caleb the best opportunity to be successful early. Early. You know, Dan Orlovsky, he talked about, you know what's funny is that people, like he showed you the other day. He showed you the other day about the book, all right, a playbook. Okay. He showed you that. And we went over and we saw how crazy it is. How crazy, how thick a playbook is, how many nuances, so many different things that people, that quarterbacks have to go through, from the case, this to that, to all these things. Okay. And you have to learn this. You have to be able to understand this as a rookie. And it's tough. It's tough because it's different from what you've done before. Now, you know, for me, it's like, obviously I get it because I've played football 30 years. So I'm okay with it. But let me show you, and here's something else. Like this is difficult. And I'll explain to you what the Bears are doing and why I think it's a great thing.
What it means and how many different versions of there. So most teams, you're going to have 5 types of cadence, okay? The ways that you're going to communicate to your offensive line. The first one we're going to say is what we call a first sound. Now, here's a couple details of why rookies learning this matters. So first sound means when you get into the huddle, you're going to tell everybody like, hey, fellas, this play is going to be on the first sound. A couple things matter. You got to tell your offense and everybody, get set to the line of scrimmage, okay? The second thing is, you have to be the last person to basically get ready for the football because you have to make sure as a quarterback, a young guy, everybody is set. You can't have any movement before the ball gets snapped. These are the type of situations where you don't want an elaborate play that you have to think a lot about because you don't want any form of communication going on with your offensive line because those guys are waiting for that very first sound. When it'll sound like this, Dan, because every cadence has a declaration start. Sometimes it's set hut, sometimes it's down, sometimes it's ready. Whatever team they determine. But the first sound is you'll go get up to line of scrimmage and it'll be set hut. Now, 2 things. One, there's 2 words in there, set and hut. The second part is that you're trying to teach your young quarterback. You want 2 words really to sound like 1 word. That's that first sound. So you got everybody to get set, no shifts, no motions, a play that's very little thinking so we can go play fast, okay? The second type of cadence is that second sound, okay? It's going to be very similar to that first sound. Remember, every cadence has that declaration of a set hut or something. So the first sound is set hut. Okay, second sound is going to be like this. Set hut, hut. Okay, why are we doing the second sound? Well, first sound is if the defense hears that first sound and they jump, we got a free play. Okay, now we got a chance for a big play downfield. The second element is if they hear that first sound and they don't get the ball snapped, they might back off just a little bit for a fraction of a second, and then we could jump them. So first sound, second sound. The next one is on 1, and that's the one that a lot of people at home probably hear so often because that's when you'll get to the line of scrimmage and be like, set hut. It's a little bit more relaxed, and that's when you'll get into that color number so often that you hear Aaron Rodgers, green 19, or a blue 88. Okay, so sometimes the colors mean absolutely nothing. It's just what you're comfortable as a quarterback talking about. Sometimes the color has a reference of, hey, I'm changing the play, a direction we might be audibling to. Every week you might make a color a live color. So that one will sound like, set hut, green 19, Green 19's hot. Again, you're trying to get those to form into one word. And those are the plays where you get shifts, motions. And again, in the huddle, that might be a situation where you go, hey, tight end, you're going to motion. Right when I say that first set hut, just get into the motion.
So if you're on first sound or second sound, you pretty much can't audible, right?
So there's one, watch the, he talks about on 2 and 3 and how important and why this is important because everyone has to understand how
is very specific to that. So first sound,
or
second
when the
sound,
ball snapped.
on 1. On 2, again, a very similar starting point. Okay, break the huddle. Now, this for a rookie
and they
quarterback,
do this
when
in
you're
drills
in the, huddle,
in the meeting room.
Hey, fellas, give me your eyes. Okay, we're gonna go on 2 here. We're gonna try to get them to jump off sides. We're gonna get them.
Our quarterbacks will do this all the time in the huddle. Hey, on 2, on 2, on 2.
So on 2, quarterback would get to line of scrimmage, said hut. Green 19, grind 19, said hut. Very similar to that second sound. We're trying to get that defense to maybe on that first, said hut. You're trying to get them to jump or, hold off for a second. And then the last one is a double count. Now, what is the double count? This is really the one that is the information gatherer. The Drew Breeses, the Bradys, the Peyton Mannings. What you'll do is, and this is where the colors come into play a little bit. Hey, this week, fellas, when I say yellow, there is no play. We are not running. You are never snapping the ball unless the defense jumps off sides. Okay, so we're telling everybody in our huddle, like, hang in there. I'm going double count. Let's take advantage. This is the one play we practice all week. Said hut. Blue 80. Blue 80 said hut. Okay, and then you might get into a different type of play. And you hear that voice inflection. Those are the 5.
Watch what he does to
and the big thing is he's trying to get those rookie quarterbacks
and this is how you do it.
to
It's
understand.
Crazy. This is how you do it in the meeting room.
We're not motioning.
And the
we're not
timing,
shifting,
because
we're
if
not
you're off
thinking.
a half a second,
This is when you're
remember
trying
we talked about we said if they black off a half a second, you could jump them. Well, guess what? If you're on the offense and you're late a half a second, and the defense is not, they have the advantage.
I would think you got to practice the whole thing as a unit.
So let's watch
You're
this.
lining everybody like that. How do you, besides doing it,
paper down?
How do you
So
practice
we would do
it?
this drill.
Wait, we're going to do something?
Paper down. I need you to lock in for here. It's called a popcorn drill.
Paper down.
Because every quarterback sometimes
now
has a
watch,
different
this
cadence,
is
and you're trying to
extremely
get
important.
everybody to move at the same time. So you would sit into your meeting room and a popcorn drill. And when I say first sound, I want you to clap when you think the ball is going to get snapped. So I'm going to go, hey, Grass, we're going to go on the first sound here. Remember, first sound is going to say set hut, okay? Real quickly. When you think set hut and ball is going to get snapped, I want you, and imagine we're all sitting in a room, 40 of us together.
Understanding and gaining this. So Caleb has got to get first sound, second sound, on 1, on 2. Watch this.
Set hut. Okay, we were totally in sync there.
Ooh.
That's fantastic.
We didn't
Now let's go
this.
second sound, okay?
Yeah.
Now what you don't want to hear is this.
Right.
And you guys aren't on the same page. Let's go second sound,
That's
guys,
the important part. That's what I'm talking about.
See, you're behind me, right? So there's that growth of us all getting on. Let's go on 1 here, okay? Let's go on just a normal 1.
Let's see how.
Sit hut, lady. Wait, hut. See, so now, you're a little bit behind me again.
These little things. Remember, we talked about
those 2 words. This sound.
We'll stop this. So we'll understand. Now you understand how important this is, okay? And here's why I'm saying what the Bears are doing is so important, so great, okay? Is that he got all this, okay, with his quarterback coach, okay, who's friends with Shane Walden. So he got all these cadences. So now he's practicing them, okay? So now he comes in with the cadence down. He comes in with all this having practiced for a month, okay? And now the guys who know it are the receivers or the guys he's worked with. Now, and then you're wondering, well, why do they work out in the offseason? Not just the routes, not just the timing, but also the understanding of when it's on 1, this is how it's going to sound. When it's on 2, here's where it's going to sound. So you get the timing of his cadence. And if you don't think that's important, man, you're misinformed. You're definitely misinformed because you saw that. You saw when they went on first sound, it said hut, they both clapped at the same time. When they went on 1, it was, and if you're not ready on offense, and the offense you should have you have the advantage because you know what the count is. You know exactly what it is. Defense has to react. And if you are off a half a second, you saw that's not even a second between claps. If you're off that much, you probably lost that play. Individually, you and your 1 guy. Okay? So if it's a stud like Aaron Donald that you're playing against, well, when he's playing, okay, you probably lost that rep, and you're going to need help. Okay? So these are all the things that Caleb is going through, right? You saw the playbook, okay? They're not going to admit it. I truly believe. Again, I'm not speaking because I don't know and I haven't spoken with Caleb. I truly believe he already had the playbook. Truly believe that. Him and Shane Waldron, I mean, his quarterback coach, Shane Waldron, friends. Come on, man. It makes sense. So he's learning the plays, learning the formations. Now he's got the cadence. So when he comes into camp, so with the rookie mini camp, he seems in control because he's got the cadence, he's got all that down. So now the most important time for him to have control is when the veterans get there. That's the most important time to have the control. That's the most important time to understand the cadence. That's the most important time to understand the basic concepts that they're going to install. Because they're still going to install. And trust me, Caleb is still nose in the book, practicing, understanding the routes, the concepts, and the formations, and the different packages that you have, short yardage, whatever. The route combos, the route tree. But when he goes, when the OTA start, when all the veterans get there, and he has a grasp of it, it gives him credibility as the leader. Gives him credibility as the leader. Because he comes in and says, no, I want this, I want this, I want this. Why do you think it's so important? It was so important for them to work out in Southern California. We saw the other day, remember, last week. All right, so now they're understanding. They're understanding what he wants. What did DJ Moore said? Oh, he's gonna, or what did he say? Something like we know where he wants us to be when that, or he knows that the ball's going to be. We know where the ball's going to be, and he wants us in a certain spot at a certain time. All these things are being worked on. So them doing this for over a month is helping a lot. This organization, Ryan Poles, is doing a phenomenal job of getting Caleb ready for the start of the season. Okay? Now, you still got to go through the hiccups. You still got to go through coverages. You got to figure out coverages. Once you figure out coverages according to your new route scheme and how your receivers run certain routes, because what if you run, you know what I mean? You work certain routes with certain receivers, and all of a sudden the receiver gets hurt. And now you're going with a guy you haven't had a lot of practice with. And you expect him to be somewhere, and he's not quite there. And you have to hold the ball for another split second, or he's there early because he's so hyped up because he hasn't gotten in. All right, he's a step sooner, a step faster than you anticipated. These are all things that you have to work on. But the sooner you're able to understand the basics, which is what they're doing, they're hammering the fundamentals with Caleb, hammering them, the better this offense will be. So I would not be surprised. Okay? I would not be surprised if by week 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there. Okay? 8, 9, or 10 is when you really start to see this offense take off. Caleb gets more comfortable. When you see him exhale. And once that happens, it's on and popping. It's on and popping. Interesting to say my job is to fairly give analysis of all players. I gave Justin Fields the benefit of the doubt. I did. Why? Because he wasn't being coached properly. He wasn't being coached properly. Look at it in real life. If people don't have the resources that they need. You understand why certain people don't know how to eat out. You understand why certain people don't know when you're eating at a nice restaurant, you start with the left. You start from the left to the right with the utensils. The first one is the salad fork. The second one is the entree fork. You don't know that. And if you're not taught that, you just grab the second one for your, cheese fondito or something. You know what I mean? You don't know. But when you're coached properly, you're taught, then the margin of error, the tolerance goes down. And of course you got to have tolerance for him because he's a rookie. But he's gonna have a lot more than everybody. So you see what's happening there. And I really like, and I just can't tell you how important that is. And these are all small things. And remember, if you remember nothing else from me, and it's the only thing that you learn from me. You can take care of the little things. There are no big things. Okay? And those little things are the difference between 3rd and 1 versus 3rd and 6, or having the play blown up because you came off a half a second slow. A fraction of a second, you're slow. And the defense wasn't. And now you're fighting, and there's a twist, and all of a sudden you're off balance, and the twist comes and you can't get to the twist. Or the guy just gets to you, he gets underneath you, gets leverage, gets by you. And if you know the old saying, if I'm even, I'm leaving. If he gets even with you, he's leaving you. So these are all things that the Bears are doing to help Caleb. And there's a lot, like you look at some of the things look at what Ryan Poles has done to help Caleb. Okay? Look what he's doing. Okay? So believe me, when I tell you to calm down, it's not because I'm hating on you. All right? Because I understand what they're doing. I understand your excitement. Let it play out. He's going to throw for 4,000 yards and 30-plus touchdowns. He has the potential to, yes. Yes. But again, as a coach, as a player, yeah, I never said, well, he's going to do this. You set goals and you achieve them. And you don't look at the goals. You don't say, well, today I'm going to try and get 150 yards rushing and 2 tutties. No, I never did that. In my 30 years of playing football, I don't think I've ever said, I want to get 125 yards. My goal is to get 100 yards every game. But I never said I'm going to get X amount of yards, X amount of touchdowns, because you don't know how the game is going to play out. So, yeah, my thought process is as he gets comfortable with this, and when it clicks, and it's not linear. All right, understanding this offense is not linear. Everyone getting on the same page is not linear. And then you're going to have injuries that amass during the season. So now you got to get one guy, get him on the same page as everybody else. Because if 10 other guys are on the same page and one guy's not, guess what? That play doesn't work. How many times did we see the ball rolled back to Justin or jumped or tossed snapped way over his head? So now he's taking his eyes off the coverage. Trying to find the ball. He picks it up, so it looks like a cover 3, but it's a cover 2. Or it looks like a single high, and it's a cover 2. I get up, oh snap, it's cover 2 now. Oh shit, I thought about going here because it looked like it was man free, but now it's cover 2. These are all little things. Them getting the center to alleviate that problem. These are all things that they're doing to help Caleb. The offensive line. You got Bates. You got Shelton for the center position and the guard position, Shelton as well. Okay? That offensive line should be intact. Okay, week 1, they want that offensive line intact. The one that they're going to go with in OTAs, the one they're going to go with in voluntary minicamp, the one they're going to go to in minicamp, the one they're going to go to in training camp. That's the offensive line that they want starting week 1. And if it is, the efficiency of this offense gets sped up because of what they're doing, what the Bears have done with Caleb before the draft. So you could put a number on it, and I don't know. There's a small part of me that says, I hope they don't. I think they're professionals, but I hope they don't. DJ Moore mostly. Hope DJ Moore doesn't get slighted. And here's why. All right, he's already known Keenan Allen. I'm talking Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams has already known Keenan Allen. Okay? You saw him, they dapped up at his pro day and whatever. And his boy Roma Dunze is like the man. Like, they train together, took the same flight together, they're celebrating at the draft together. They got drafted on the same day together in the first round together. And I just hope that the relationship with those two doesn't push DJ down. I don't think it will, but there's something in me that says, I just hope it doesn't. Because DJ's the man. And there's only a small part of me believes that because he worked out with DJ. All right, he's worked out with DJ in California. You saw him work out with DJ there at Hallis Hall the other day. So hopefully they continue to work out in the offseason. I just don't want that to be an issue. because you got two studs. And I left Roma Dunze out because he hasn't done it in the NFL yet. Okay. And I have no doubt that Roma Dunze is going to be another stud. Okay. But right now you got two. Okay, let me say this for all you people who think I hate him. Hey, Caleb. He's got two proven studs and one more that just needs to show it. So that's what I'm worried about. That's what I'm not even worried, just keeping an eye on. Not even worried, just keeping an eye on it. Okay? It's a lot. It's a lot. And this defense is something that is going to be a huge, huge factor. So we're talking about stuff that the Bears have done for him. So you got we talked about the receivers. I'm sorry, we talked about Shane Waldron, established play caller. You got the receivers. You had another tight end. You upgraded the running back room. Okay? Your defense. This was even before Caleb got here. The defense that you're stepping into is playoff ready. Could be NFC title game ready if they add another move or two, or if Gervon Dexter steps it up a little bit and the platoon between DeMarcus Walker and Booker plays out well. They could be an NFC title defense. But then the one thing that people are talking about, and if they haven't, that people poo-pooed, is the punter. Why people are doing that punter like that, I have no idea. When we here in Chicago understand, and we saw, we had a Hall of Fame view of what a punt returner can do with Devin Hester, who's going into the Hall of Fame. Imagine what a Hall of Fame punter, a guy who can manipulate the ball, deaden it inside the 10, having it, whether it just downs it or it veers out of bounds after it bounces at the 3 or at the 4. And people are like, oh, that's a wasted pick. Do you understand how that helps? That helps Caleb as well. What now? Think about having the offense, and I said it last week, a couple weeks ago. I said about at least 15 to 20 times our punter is going to have opposing offenses starting inside the 10. Maybe in the 5, which is inside the 10. What if they're starting at the 3? Defense holds them. 3 and out, punt return, 10 yards, gets in plus territory. Now we got to go 40 yards, 42 yards to score. This is helping the quarterback. This is helping Caleb. Oh, yeah, by the way, Keenan Allen, he's 6'5". Cole Kmet, he's 6'5". Roma Dunze, he's 6'3". DJ Moore has won jump balls plenty of times that we've seen. We've seen him do that. We've seen Keenan Allen do it. We've seen DJ Moore do it. So now we only got to get 20 plus yards before I can throw it up into the end zone and have my guys go get it. These are all the things that the Bears have done to help this quarterback, to help Caleb become extremely successful. And yeah, he's going to have his hiccups. He's going to. He's also going to have some pretty damn good plays. He's also going to have some highlight reel exciting plays that people are going to talk about. And that's from what Ryan Poles has done. And I salute him. Hats off to him. Okay. For setting this team up and this offense in particular with all the weapons you have on offense, the weapons you have on defense, and now the weapons you have on special teams. This is going to be fun. And we keep talking about it because we're excited. Just don't get crazy. He's going to throw for 4,500. He's going to throw for 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns. Relax. If he doesn't throw for 4,000 yards, guess what? I'm not upset. If he throws for 3,200 yards, I'm happy. But what we want to see is progress. So we're going to find games. We'll find games and we can say, okay, you know what? They might take the training wheels off a little bit. These DBs suck, or maybe not. 2 of their DBs are out. 2 of their DBs are out, and their best pass rusher is out. Okay, now we got to be educated fans. Now we have to follow who's hurt, who's playing on the opposing team, and say, oh, where can we attack them on defense? Their run stuffer's out. Well, guess what? Don't expect them to throw the ball 8,000 times then if their run stuffer and their leading tackler, who's the middle linebacker, is out. Don't expect them to throw 45 times. It's about getting the dub, getting the win. Cornelius, we are here. And I love what Caleb said. When someone said, oh, about wild throws, he goes, I'm not here to wow you. I'm here to win games. That, to me, that was probably the most important thing that he said this offseason to me. I'm not here to wow you. I'm here to win games. Because if he has that attitude, it's going to be similar to Jim McMahon. Jim McMahon wasn't the best quarterback in the NFL, but Jim McMahon could sling it. For those of you who thought, oh, it was just all Walter and this, no. Jim McMahon set some records at BYU slinging that ball to Robbie Bosco was the player. I can't think of the head coach now. Jim McMahon used to sling that ball. He could throw it. Jim McMahon came along a little too early. Imagine Jim McMahon in the run and shoot or the air raid. Yeah. Jim McMahon was a bad boy. He could sling that ball. But they didn't have to. Why? Because he had Walter and he had a phenomenal defense. And there were games that Jim McMahon had 250, 300. So I'm not looking at numbers for Caleb. I'm looking at development. And he might get those numbers. He might get 38. He might get 4,000. Good. I'm not worried about that. See, this is where you don't, as fans, don't worry about the numbers. Numbers are, because remember Justin last year when DJ Moore had the 3-touchdown game against Washington. Remember he threw the quick screen to him, or the naked screen to him, and the DB gambled and missed. Well, Justin didn't do anything. Oh, I shouldn't say that. He got the ball there late, but that wasn't because of Justin. He didn't throw him open. He didn't find him in a hole. He didn't find him in the soft spot of his zone. He threw it to DJ. DJ made the dude miss, or the dude just stepped slow, and now he went off. So don't look at the numbers. Look at the progress. Look at the development. And I'm happy to say that the development of this quarterback is coming along rather nicely. Now you might not see it, and again, I understand why people are like that. But just relax. Because he's going to struggle. And I don't want you saying, oh, if Caleb has a couple bad games, people are going to get mad. Oh, he's this, he's that. Relax. It's all about 17 games, 18 weeks of the season. It's going to have his ups, it's going to have his downs. We're going to have a lot more ups than downs. But don't get so hyped up, and don't overhype stuff, and don't over-exaggerate stuff. All right, because you'll see it. It's going to play out in real time. It'll play out. No Christmas Day games for the Bears. Here's another thing: the NFL, son of a gun. Christmas is on a Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. It's on a Thursday. Let me double check. Or is it a Wednesday? It's a Wednesday. Christmas is on a Wednesday, and Netflix is going to stream 2 Christmas Day games. Oh, shit. Here we go now. Netflix is going to stream 2 Christmas Day games. All right. And it's on Wednesday. So how crappy is that? You play Sunday, and then you play Wednesday. That's like when I was in high school. When we went to St. Rita back then in 88, the football season of 88. the high school playoffs were as follows. After the first playoff game was on Wednesday. And for us, we played our last regular season game was at Loyola. And Loyola, for some reason, always had their games on Sunday. I don't know why. They had their own field. So it's not like you can't schedule the game for Saturday or Friday, because Friday Night Lights wasn't really big. The movie was out, but we didn't play, and most people didn't have lights. So it was Saturday afternoon were most games. Okay. If you had your own stadium, obviously you had lights, but some people had lights. St. Rita didn't have lights. But so we ended up playing Loyola on Sunday. We beat them to go undefeated for the regular season, 9-0, I want to say. And then the first game of the playoffs, of the state playoffs, was on Wednesday. We beat St. Pat's. So on Monday I got named Catholic League Player of the Year, the Tony Lawless Award winner. So on Wednesday, you know who their game plan was to stop, right? Of course. Didn't help. I scored both touchdowns. But nonetheless, they beat me up. That was the most physical game I had ever been in high school. I've been in more physical games since then. Okay. But then again, we played again on Saturday. So we played 3 games in 7 days. So what you're doing, the NFL, you're putting your players at risk from Sunday to Wednesday. It's bad enough on Thursday. Yeah. 2 days. Two games, I should say. That's just crazy. That's just nuts. They're streaming 2 games this year, and they're going to stream a game in 25 and 26 as well. Another game. It's 2025. They're doing another. In 2026, they're going to stream another game. Dude, the days, if you know, the days move one day later. So what's Wednesday? They'll be on Thursday next year. It makes it easier. Thursday Night Football. It'll be on a Christmas day. And they just said fuck the NBA. They just didn't give a damn about NBA. We're the NFL. We're the top dog in pro sports. You play games on Christmas Day? Oh, that's cute. That's cute. NFL's something else. NFL's something else. They don't care. They don't care. So now, here's where you need a man cave. Here's where you need big or multiple big screen TVs. Have the Christmas game here and a game here. Football and basketball, which I think would be great. I mean, don't you think it'd be great? You can flick back and forth if you don't have multiple TVs. I think it's my only thing. See, the next couple of years, so next in 25 and 26, it'll be fine. I mean, a Thursday night game. In 25 and 26, it'll be a Friday night game. That's cool. The NFL plays games on Saturdays at the end of the year, so that's fine. And you can always say, hey, if there's a team that make sure one of the teams or two of the teams are coming off a bye, you know what I mean? There's ways you can do that. Okay, which benefits. If you're coming off a bye, it doesn't matter when you play Wednesday, or you're getting a whole week off, and then would it be 10 days as opposed to 14? Well, all right, you can live. But that's it, baby. That is it. The schedule's coming out tonight. How excited are you? Guys, let me know. First of all, King Book of World, yes, you are correct, sir. See, baseball was America's pastime because there was really no other sport. Okay? Football was in its infancy back then. Okay? Football is America, the brutality of it. Okay? The brutality of it is what appeals to a lot of people. Okay? It appeals. The violence, the controlled violence is what appeals to people. Played in a football tournament in Mexico. We played 2 games in one day. Ooh. Damn. That's crazy. That is crazy. But in America, NFL runs stuff now. NFL runs the country. It runs the country. So it's going to be pretty cool watching those on Christmas Day. Like I said, this year it'll be on Wednesday. Next year in 25, it'll be on a Thursday. 26, it'll be on a Friday. Okay, so we're on 24. I think 28, 27 will be on Saturday if they play. 28 will be on a Monday. Okay, just because leap year. Okay. Well, yeah, it has more action, but it also, the violence is it really it ignites and excites our primitive instinct. Okay, the violence is what people love. All right. I mean, how many times when there's a good hit, we're like, oh, people like, yeah, boy. You know what I mean? And a good hit, a big sack, quarterback gets blindsided from behind, or a quarterback gets hit in the front side, face mask in the chest. You hear how people go crazy over it. It's the primal instinct in us. And the action. I mean, we're thinking of big, strong, fast athletes in a confined space knocking the dog snot out of each other. And you know why? Another reason why football is so popular? Not everybody can play it. Not everyone can play it. I mean, you can join a semi-pro team like we did, but even so, you might not even play on a semi-pro team. All right, there's just guys, especially nowadays, man, you get a lot of people who didn't make who played college ball and didn't make arena teams, didn't make, the NFL, and they're playing semi-pro. Some good semi-pro teams. Teams littered. Hell, the team we beat when we went down to Florida was littered with a lot of D1 players. A lot of guys from Ohio State. We played at Central Ohio Lions. Right, the first time we went down to Florida, first time we won our first national championship with the Thunder. We looked at their roster. There was like 8. Like 4 or 5 of them were from Ohio State. 8 offensive linemen. 4 or 5 of their 8 offensive linemen, 10 offensive linemen were from Ohio State. I was like, oh, jeez. I don't know if they graduated there, but they played there. Just to play there, you're not going to get there unless you're pretty damn good. Oh my goodness. So because you can't play it, it's kind of like taboo-ish. Like it's held in a higher regard. Because you can go and play in a rec league and do what Mike does, and Kobe. Okay, you can do that, or at least tell yourself that. Michael, Kobe, you know what I mean? But you can't sit there, shake a guy, jump over a guy, hit and spin, tackle a guy. You can't do that. Everyone can't do that. So that's the reason why, a big reason why football is America's pastime, King Booker World. Yeah. AC Adam, American football. Junior played American football in Mexico. American football, yeah. Before he came back here and played here. But man, listen, we're kind of early just a little bit. I got to go pick up the warden. Great show. 2 hours is coming and going. I want to thank my guest, Ozzie Guillen Jr., for coming on, talking baseball with us. And man, you know what, Sox fans, let's pay attention to Pedro Grifol. You know why Pedro's able to get away with that shit? Because we don't listen to him. We don't care what the hell he has to say. We don't listen to him. No one gives a damn what Pedro has to say, so he can back talk all he wants. Not a stat guy, not a pitch count guy. Then talk about pitch count. We got to listen to this joker and see the next time he doubles back, or the next time he contradicts himself. And when he said that, I'm like, I don't listen to him. I don't listen to his post-game pressers. What are you going to say? You lost again. What are you going to say? But now if they're winning, I'm going to be a little more attentive. I'm going to be a lot more attentive. So what do you see here? What did you say here? What did you, like, you know what? Keep it real. King Booker will. We sure don't. You're damn right. We don't listen to his ass. Why? Hey, guys, today I'll be on at 1 o'clock with my man Nomad. Remember, we moved it to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So Mondays and Fridays we're at 3. On Wednesdays we're at 1. Okay? And hope you guys enjoyed the Bear Talk. All right? Hope you enjoyed our baseball talk. All right? Let's not forget tonight the Chicago Sky. Chicago Sky they open their season. I'm fired up about it. All right? They're in Dallas for the first 2 games. I don't know how that happened and why they're playing back-to-back in Dallas, but I digress. Channel 26, the U. So make sure you see that. Make sure you get on there. They're going to be on the U and Marquee Network as well. Not today. Today's just Channel 26. But their schedules come out. You know what? We'll talk about it. I'll put it up next week on Friday, next show on Friday. Put up their schedule. Most of their games are going to be on the Marquee or Channel 26. All right, they got it, and most of them, and a lot of them will be streamed on the WNBA app, so you can watch it there. Like I said, order the WNBA league package. It's $37. $37. All right, support these women. You know, there's a picture. Did I put that picture in here? I did not. All right, you know they're gonna start moving over to chartered flights, but not all the way. All right. So there's a picture of Angel Reese. All right, there's a picture of Angel Reese, and she's in the airport yesterday. And she's just talking about, I hope this is the last commercial flight we have to, and I get it. And a lot of times they're going to be back to back, or they're going to use commercial flights on back-to-back games. All right, so you get them from the second game there and then home. It's going to be $25 million bucks a year for commercial flights. Here's the picture of Angel Reese, and I know you probably can't read it. Okay, so I'll read it for you. In it, she says, just praying that this is the top comment said, just praying this is one of the last commercial flights the Chicago Sky has to fly. Said, like Bridget said, practicing gratitude and patience as the league introduces charter flights for all teams. So, yeah. Good luck to the girls tonight in Dallas. Make sure you check them out. Okay. And please go buy the WNBA League Pass. It's $37. That's 2, maybe 3 drinks. All right, here you're supporting these young ladies. All right. Guys, I will see you later. Plank, King Booker World, my guy Junior, AC Adam. Guys, we'll be later. I'll be on later with Nomad. So, guys, you have a phenomenal day. I got to go pick up the warden. So, listen, for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, Elliot Baez, our executive producer, Clarence Council III, my social media guy, and my co-host, Sencha Maya. I'm your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra. Guys, have a phenomenal day. It's going to be, 70 today? Or maybe low to mid-60s. Beautiful day. Beautiful day here in Chicago. So if you're in the Chicagoland, it's going to be 70 today. Perfect. Guys, enjoy it. Get out there. Make someone smile. Send an old friend a text, a cousin. Send them a text. Let them know you're thinking about them. Right? Believe me, the smile you give them will be priceless. And as I said, always say, there's far too much hate going on in the world. Let's start spreading some love. All right? So for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, I'm your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra, baby. I am out.